Hello, Gemini. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I am using Chakra Wisdom Tarot by Upside Down. By Tori Hartman. There we go. And the artwork is by Katrina Sokolova. They have websites, Watkins with an S Publishing.com and ToriHartman.com. Supportive Oracle cards are Spellcasting Oracle cards by Flavia, Barbara, and Lisbeth. They have a website as well. It is shewhoisart.com. So if you want to freeze frame on any of that information I just gave you and search that out, you are more than welcome to. I just love these decks. I'm into these decks at this moment. All right. I'm really excited. Like, why am I so excited? What do you got going on, y'all? What do you got going on? We're finishing this off with... No. Okay. This is... Okay. Okay, there's a whole new beginning. Totally new beginning coming in. For those of you this is going to hit with, you're freaked out. If this is going to hit, you're freaked out because a totally new beginning is coming in. There's 3 cards, 3 major cards, just 4 even. There's a lot. It's freaking me out. I feel like you're going to be freaked out, and it's like I'm getting something offered. Something is being offered to you. Freaking you out. If this is going to hit, it's freaking you out. I'm not really sure if I want to get in bed with this situation. I'm like, oh, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. I'm feeling very dramatic about it, but new beginnings is coming in. The world is talking about a whole new phase coming in. And then the death card as well. You have to give up something to get something. So something's going to leave for something else to come in. They're like, something big. It starts slow. It starts small, but this is going to like take over most of your life is what I'm getting. Like, this is one of those things where you kind of get involved like with a little side project, and then 2 years down the road, that's your main job, and you're controlling the whole thing. It's kind of like I didn't expect it to go that far. You can understand why it would get that far. Like, you could see the possibility, but like the probability might not seem that great, but that's where I feel like you're going. Because it starts small, and I'm only getting involved a little bit to start with. And this situation makes me nervous because I know every step I get deeper, it's like stepping into water. It's like the deeper I get, the more I have to, the less I can just kind of wade, the more I have to actually swim. The farther away from shore I go out, the farther I have to come back in. There's no boat out here going to pick me up. I'm going to have to swim back. It's kind of like that, like going out into the ocean, swimming out into the ocean, and there's nobody else there. And you're like, the farther I swim out, the farther I'm going to have to swim back. And I just see it. I know that. I realize that. So it freaks me out. Really good, though. You got a lot of good cards going your way. Judgment in your favor. Prosperity and healing. Because you've been screwed over. If whoever this is hitting for, like, you've been screwed over a lot. Whoever this is. I don't think everybody... I'm connecting to somebody specific. You've been screwed over a lot. And this is meant to, like, make up for that in a way. Something, like, I feel like I've been screwed over a lot. It's kind of like, now it's time for you to have a chance. The thing is, it's only yours if you claim it. You have to claim it. Like, in the sense of, like, if you want things to go well, you got to choose it and go into it. You don't want it, you don't want it. You can't really get the good if you don't go into it. You know what I mean? You can't get in the house if you don't walk through the door. You follow me on that? There's stress. There's so much stress, but this is judgment in your favor. But I think that's why this is freaking you out. Kind of like, yeah, I've dug that knife out of my back so many times at this point. This freaks me out. This freaks me out, freaks me out, freaks me out. Is this... For some of you, this could be romance. Because it kind of feels like that. Kind of like, maybe I've had a lot of bad relationships. And it's kind of like I look in the rearview mirror and I'm like, I don't know if any of them were good. It's kind of like, oh, I don't know if any of those were good. And at this point, I'm like, oh, another relationship coming in. Oh, I just don't see how that could go well for me. And I'm nervous. Very nervous. For good reason. Like, you're not freaked out for no reason. There's definitely substance behind you. Like, yeah, there's a reason I'm freaked out. But it's kind of like really good things coming in, especially because you've learned a lot. And there's a lot here, kind of like before that goes off base, before this goes off tune, out of tune, off key, whatever you want to say, you know to catch that before it even starts. Before, like, oh, I'm seeing, like, we've been playing this piano for a couple hours, let's tune it up now, because it's going to need it sooner or later anyway. Let's tune the piano, and like every 2 hours, we're just going to tune the piano. I don't know anything about that, by the way. I don't know how often you have to tune a piano, but we're just saying every 2 hours. You're like, before it ever goes out of tune, I'm doing it every 2 hours. I'm just going to retune it. I'm just going to make sure it's on key, and we're going to stay in tune, and that's that. Prosperity. Healing is big here. Healing is huge, because I'm getting healing, but I'm also getting truth, and I'm getting, what's that other card? Answers. Very complementary energy for you, in the sense of, like, I think, and you'll let me know in the comments, I know you will, a few of you anyway, what Gemini needs is somebody who is willing to tell them what the truth, like the truthful answers. Like, you don't want somebody just to tell you what they think you want to hear. That doesn't work. You can't get new possibilities through just bull. If somebody just tells you things they think you want to hear, like, you can't do anything with that. You know what I mean? You can't. You need truth. You need some substance, and somebody gives you some truth, some substance to do something with. You can go many, 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 many places with that. And I'm getting truthful answers in the sense of, like, you know, you put out some information, they give you some accompanying information that goes with it. When that happens, like, you start the ball rolling, they help to keep it rolling, and when that happens, you're like, hey, by the way, what if this? And they're like, well, from what I know, if you do this, it goes pa-plunk. But if you do that, it goes pretty well. Really? So you've had success with this, and that's failed. Yes, that's failed. Okay, so when that's failed, was this person involved or that person involved? Well, that person was involved. Okay. So it's like you can find out, you're like, it's kind of like you don't want people to just say what they think you want to hear. Like, oh, you could probably make that work, Gemini, if you just do this. You don't want that. I don't need that. What you want is, like, what happened? Why did it happen? Who was connected? What else is going on over here? You want more factful, more truthful information. Something very compatible. This situation is growing because the accompanying information, accompanying connection is understanding not to lie, not to just tell you what they think you want to hear. Do not do that, and they won't. I don't think they will. Whatever this energy is, it's very complementary. You can only do something with truth. You need to know what's actually happening. And they answer the questions the way you ask them. You ask them who was a part, this person and that person. Okay. When you work with this person, do you guys get along? Well, I have an order of operations. They're very random, and they seem to talk in circles. I don't understand what they're talking about, so I don't know why it doesn't work, but I do what I'm supposed to do. I do it the same every time. I don't understand what they do. So, and I feel like you'll be like, okay, that's enough. Kind of like, don't tell me more. Like, if they think, well, I think it was their fault why it failed, they're not going to go that far. I feel like you're just going to, like, oh, you guys just do things differently. You don't understand why they do what they do, but you have an order of things you do. Okay, that's all I need. Thank you. And you step back and you process that information as necessary. There is, like, a control here too. I feel like this is a situation where you need to kind of, like, all right, they're talking too much, or they're telling me more about their feelings. I need more facts than feelings in this situation. And I feel like you can also kind of, like, shut this down, kind of like, okay, thank you. I understand your feelings. Thank you very much. But I feel like you're kind of like, once it starts going too much into how somebody feels versus facts, you're kind of like shutting that down a little bit. Like, thank you. I appreciate that. And then you kind of recede and you start sorting out the facts more. Because I feel like you're very sensitive to the thought of, like, how somebody feels versus how it actually played out. How somebody felt can really muddy that up. So I just want to deal with the facts. And I can build something with the facts. And I can see many different angles with the facts. This is very good. I'm getting this is something that this is going to go very well. This is very interesting because I feel like you're also identifying people involved in this situation that are very emotion driven. Not a bad thing, but it's also kind of like I need to see, like when somebody's emotionally driven, they're very passionate, they get a lot done, very helpful for the situation, but it's also kind of like every now and then I have to minus out the emotion and just look at, like, they're saying this, this, and that. Okay, so I understand them, I believe that's their truth, but now I'm going to go find something. I'm going to see if I can find some other ways to back that up. I'm going to see other people's information, how other people saw it, if I can find some like documentation about what happened. I'm not trying to prove them wrong. I'm just trying to see like how it happened versus how they felt about it. They're very honest people. I feel like the people you're dealing with are very honest, but you're kind of like sorting it out, like how much of their emotion is driving how they feel about it now. Is there somebody that they don't get along with and they have a lot of anger towards, and they tend to think it's that person's fault that things go wrong, and when in truth that person didn't help the situation, but it wasn't really their fault. They may be right to point that out, that that person's not helpful, but they're not the reason that this tanked or something in the past tanked. So you're finding out more truth about like how things are really adding up. You're in a really strong power position here is what I'm also getting. I feel like within 2 years for a lot of you, you're going to be running the show. I don't know how that makes anybody feel or what you're dealing with, but keep that in mind because you're getting yourself in a spot where you know a lot and you see things more clearly and you're able to help people get along. Especially with, I'm getting this something about somebody's very emotionally driven, because passion and compassion, somebody's very emotionally driven, very, very good person, very, very active, very, very prosperous person. But when they don't like somebody, it's not a secret. And they might not like somebody because they need people to actively move forward, and whoever they're dealing with doesn't help their situation. So they've learned to dislike that person because of that. And again, that may be a person that doesn't help the situation, but may not be the reason a situation fails or does badly. And you're going to be able to unearth that and kind of like maybe move things around, move people around, move situations around. So like, all right, this person's not so emotionally invested, but they would do good over here away from this other person who's very good. And I'll just match somebody else up with them, and then that'll come in a lot better, and we can get a lot more out of this situation. It feels very detailed, by the way. Something all new is coming in. Does freak you out in the beginning. You will do great with this, whatever this is. You will do great with it. It seems like it goes left and right with what type of situation it is. I know it's a general read, but I feel like for those of you this matters for, you'll be able to put that in order where this should be applied. So I'm going to leave it there. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com, james4astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below as well, same email. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.